Hello, everybody, and welcome into our second edition of Bark Back Sports here at RBTV. I'm Aiden Chef with Colin Cimino, and this time, instead of Coach Ryan Gruber, it's a player, and Liam Enright. Liam, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on here, and I have to ask, not only you, Liam, but Colin as well, because you do play on the team after all. You're a huge contributor. How are you guys feeling after last night's huge win against Glenbard?
Man, I feel great. I know Colin feels great, the entire team feels great, and the entire school feels great.
Yeah, it's a good vibe going around right now. You can feel it in the hallways.
Yeah, absolutely.
You feel kind of like the school spirit starting to come back, especially with like after the football season. People showed out for that, and it felt nice to finally have a game where you were like, wow, people showed out for this.
You beat Michael Nee, and that's what we were looking forward to doing. That's what we were hoping that you guys would do, and you accomplished just that last night. So let's start here. Since we last talked, a couple of wins added to their catalog. We're going to start with Glenbard South. They won 53-46. The stat leaders there. Mercer dropped 25, Van Tholen with 12. Mr. Enright here with 11 in that game. Then they won against Morton 67-55. Your stat leaders for that one. Cam Mercer with another 25-point performance in that one. Cimino, you had 14, and Enright, you had 10 and 10 in that one, so a nice little split there. Then you went into Elmwood Park. Beat them pretty handily with a score of 78-43. Van Tholen had 22, the sophomore. Mercer with 16. Colin, you had 14 in that one. And then Glenbard East, the game that we've been talking about up to this point right now, just last night, 69-64, your final. The fourth quarter was a little scary up there in the booth, and I know everybody got a little quiet there, but you guys pulled through. You guys are now sitting at 19-5. And right, you had 19, I believe 11 first quarter points. You were letting it rain there early. And then Mercer obviously had 18 in that one. So Liam, I'm going to ask you this. You've had a couple of big games during this stretch, especially last night against Glenbard that can't go unnoticed. What has been different during this run for you?
Well, I mean, I got a text from my coach about a day ago saying, you're shooting like 20% from three right now.
Okay, so that's got to change.
Yeah, something's got to change there, and it kind of felt in my heart that I need to hit more shots. And so obviously I started the game, 3 threes in a row. Yeah. And I was just feeling it with the crowd and my team, and I guess that's kind of just what switched for me.
So then what was your mindset after you received that text from your coach? Did that light a fire under you a little bit? Like, what was the mindset going into last night's game?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought I need to be the player I am instead of sometimes I kind of underestimate myself. Yeah. But obviously yesterday it was a big game for me stepping up to the plate, and I'm just ready to hit him out.
When did you know you were feeling it, Liam? Was it as soon as the tip-off commenced, or was it, after you hit that first three? When did you know that this was going to be a night for you? I honestly knew right after school, just because I do go to the gym before every game, even though we do have like shoot-around and stuff. I was in the gym, and I was just feeling it. I was shooting all these shots with my dad. He helps me out a lot. I was going through some like situational moves, and I was on. So I knew right from the get-go. All right, well, we're going to head back here to talk about the game a little bit. At this point, we're about halfway through the second quarter here, so Liam, if you want to come back here with me, if you can, just walk me through what we're looking like right now. We're at 28-16, moving towards halftime. You're up by 12. What does an offensive possession look like here? Are you trying to slow things down to keep your lead? What does that look like?
So we kept our foot on the gas the entire first half, and that was our kind of motivation going into the game, was that we had to keep cutting, keep screening for everyone, and helping each other out more than us being a little bit more selfish for ourselves. And as you can see, I mean, is obviously working. We had about a 20-point lead in the first half, and that was simply due to us screening and cutting for each other, and really finding the seams in between Glenbard East's offense or defense.
Yeah. So Michael Nee was the guy that everybody had highlighted going into this one. He's a South Dakota commit, so he's going to be a future Coyote for basketball. What went into the game plan of stopping him, limiting him making baskets early on, especially, which you guys did just that? What went into that going into the game?
I mean, obviously, there's a talk before about Michael Nee. Yeah. And Cam took this one to his heart. He took it with some pride, and he did a great job on him all game. He's getting through screens the entire game. It's really a tough matchup because of how much they do for Michael Nee on the court. Yeah. But mainly it was just Cameron.
Fantastic defensive performance from number 5. I mean, it was really fun to watch up there in the booth. But as we move closer to halftime here, what was the message from Coach Ryan Gruber? Because you guys were up at halftime the last time you played them at their house back on December 19th. you didn't want to let history repeat itself, right, and have them come out, which they almost did in the fourth quarter. It took them a little while to put their foot on the gas, but they eventually did. Obviously, ended up losing. But what was Coach Reingruber's talk to you guys? Colin, maybe you can even chime in on this as well as you look back here. What was that talk like, at halftime in that locker room to make sure that you guys pulled away in this one after all?
Well, we just made sure that history didn't repeat itself, and our second half was going to be amazing, just like our first half. Last game that we did have between Glenbard East, we did lose, and we lost because of our second half. Our first half was great, and then our second half we fell apart. And as you can see here, I think we had a great, in between our third and fourth quarter, there was good spurts.
Yeah.
But we ended up pulling it away because we had that mindset that maybe we don't have a crappy first, couple minutes. So.
Totally understandable. Well, we're going to move back to the desk now. Thank you for your little insight. That was fun. Now we're going to kick it to Colin for the second segment here of Barkback Sports.
Alrighty, well, I'll let these guys take their seats. Now, having a player on the show is a very new thing for us.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Liam this season. He's averaging 7.9 points per game on 40% total field goal percentage. That is his average. He's averaging 4 rebounds and 4.2 assists. Liam, how have you felt about your performance this season following up with that? How are you feeling about the team this year?
Well, my performance this season has a new outlook on my being of a player because I get the lead again, as well as Colin gets the lead and some of our seniors get the lead. And I didn't get much of an opportunity to do that last year. But this year, the reign is kind of just all in our hands. And so this year, as me as a player, the big games, I do have to step up. And I know that I can create for my teammates. Obviously there it says around 4 assists. And there's some games where that might be 10. Or there's some games that maybe it's just everyone putting up shots and they're making everything and I might only have 2. But that kind of works itself out. And then for the team, I think all of us kind of coming together this year really helps out. I feel that maybe last year we weren't as apart as one. Rather than this year, I feel like we create for each other and we're genuinely happy when another person scores instead of kind of complaining about it. And we're just ready to win and ready to kind of conquer whatever comes our way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree. And now, Liam, you said your ultimate goal for the season was to have a 20-assist game, and you have had multiple...
That was on the record. That was on the record.
You have had multiple double-double games, but is this still a goal for you?
Yes, absolutely. I don't think it will get done against a really good team, only because the defense on the other team has to, be a little bit, how do I say it, weak, a little weak. And so we do have some games coming up on the schedule. One, this Friday, they play a zone, and when it's...
Think you can take
zone,
advantage?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken. Heard it here first. So we're going to hold them to that come Friday. So I'm hoping for that result.
We'll talk a little bit about your stats the next week. Now that we are on a major winning streak, what do you think has contributed the most to this?
As I said before, it's just the team coming together. There's really nothing else than that. Obviously everyone works on their skills in the off season and even in the in season. Colin always in the gym, Cameron always in the gym, I'm always in the gym. Ben helps out whenever he's not with other sports, and Noah, I didn't really know him before this year, but he also gym rat. And so building onto all that, everyone having a really big trust for each other, that is honestly our key, because when things get down and we can tell the other person to pick their head up, that's what's going to win us games.
Yeah, and what is the hardest part about being the main decision maker on the floor?
Well, the hardest part about being that main decision maker on the floor is figuring out when we have those off moments and how do we rebuild from the off moments. So yesterday we had a little stretch of some turnovers, and they were scoring off all the turnovers.
Beginning of the fourth.
In the beginning of the fourth.
3 straight.
And we kind of needed just something open to happen. And so, going out, honestly, I don't remember what happened specifically, but I remember what I said. I said to Ben to kind of find the gap in the middle for the 1-3-1 that they were playing against us. And I think Ben found that gap, and I was hitting them, multiple people were hitting them, and that made open looks for us to position the other team to get out of their 1-3-1.
Yeah, and now we're going to kick it right back over to Aiden, and he's going to talk a little bit about the end of the season and the playoffs.
Yeah, so even though the season is coming to an end, we're reaching that sort of home stretch of the season. Your guys' schedule continues to challenge you guys, and we're going to start off with the next few games for the Dogs. We have Fenton on the 6th, Oak Lawn on the 7th. That's the rematch from regionals last year. West Chicago on the 11th. De La Salle. They're led by Roosevelt Thomas, who's the top-ranked sophomore point guard in the state as of right now. That's on the 13th. Then on Valentine's Day, you guys play Elgin at senior night. And the UEC crossover on the 17th and the regional semifinal on the 17th and 25th are TBD. But let's go through some of these sectional teams. And you guys have yourselves a handful. I mean, this like looks on paper like a gauntlet. We're going to start with you guys as Riverside. Then we have Summit with Argo, Curie, Hancock, Jones, Kenwood, Lindblom, Mount Carmel, Perspectives, Simeon, St. Ignatius, Central, Hinsdale Central, that is, Lyons Township, and Oak Lawn Community. So I'm going to ask both of you guys this question, Liam and Colin. I know that Oak Lawn lost last year. You guys were both a part of it. It was an absolute heartbreaker, right? That was one I'm sure, still makes you sick to your stomach every time you think about it. Is this game personal for you at all, or do you see it as just another game?
I mean, I can't really speak for my entire team, but I don't see this one as a personal one, even though maybe I should, but I don't, because I feel that our team is kind of just going to go one by one, each team, and I know that Oak Lawn is on the list, but I mean, our team last year compared to this year is a lot different, and I have a lot more trust in the guys that I go with out on the floor this year, and so I just don't think it's going to be as big of a milestone, even though to the program it might be, because obviously we had that loss in playoffs in the first round, but we did win against them last year prior to that, and I just believe that this year it's going to be a win coming out on Saturday.
Colin, what about you?
Oh, no, I'm taking this personally. I hate losing, and I think last year we had a great chance to go play Kenwood in that regional final, and we dropped the game, and they were talking a little bit during the game, so I think this is a game I've had circled for a little bit.
Revenge is a dish best served cold. Hopefully you guys can put that on a platter when you guys face them. This sectional includes powerhouse programs like Simeon, Mount Carmel, and Kenwood. Those are really a big three there. How does that change your mindset going into postseason play? I mean, you guys know that you have to play up there, right? What does that look like as you head towards that direction?
Well, I mean, those teams are particularly a little bit. Wait, sorry, you said what teams?
Simeon, Mount Carmel, and Kenwood. Those three.
So some of those teams are a little bit faster paced, and we just have to adjust. I mean, that comes in a scout and practice. We adjust for those faster type of teams, and obviously we will come out with a game plan that is just right for that fast type of offense. That honestly, we've played teams in the beginning. We played a fast-paced team. They were called Leo. We lost in the beginning of the year. And then we played another team that was also really fast-paced. What's that team we played at? No, Fenwick. We played them at Fenwick.
Oh, Crete Monet.
Crete Monet.
There you go.
Crete Monet. And, we went out there and we kicked ass and we won. And so, obviously, we're ready for whatever comes our way.
Sure. So I'm interested to hear your point of view on this, because as a player, and you kind of talked about it a little bit, you don't do as much of the scouting, but I know that you look into the teams that you play ahead of time. Do you see this sectional as one of the toughest, or as the toughest in 4A, and why or why not, if you have an answer to that?
I mean, I would say so just looking at it. I'm sure Colin can agree with me. But there are some really heavy hitters in the 4A division. Obviously, we're probably one of the small schools in 4A. And so we have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder. And, going into the playoffs, we have to have a razor-focused mindset of, obviously, all these teams that are on the list right there. But we also need to go one game at a time and attack it by that mean of level.
What separates you guys from the other teams in the sectional? As a player, for both of you guys, I want to hear both your answers on this. You guys are seniors now. You've been a part of this roster for so long. You guys have grown into your roles. What do you think separates you guys as a team, as a whole, in comparison to all these other teams on this list?
I'd say we play hard every day. We're not going to give up. It's practice hard every day, same schedule, sticking to a routine, and we are kind of going into it as underdogs. We are one of the smaller schools in 4A. We haven't touched a ranking. It's hard to go into it and play these like highly ranked teams, and it's like you're going in as the little brother. I think that's what is separating us right now, is that we're gonna go in with this like dog-like mentality, like we know we're better than you.
You feel the same way, Liam, or?
I do, and what Aiden was saying beforehand with us kind of like coming up together, I think we also have an advantage there to some of these teams that take in transfers like a ton of the time, and they're kind of just, I know they've been playing for a long time and they have a whole year to figure it out, but you know, we've been together for a while, and just as much as I trust anybody on the floor, I trust that we could win.
I remember talking to you actually in this class when you mentioned your 20 assist game, and you were so serious about that. So, you know, kind of a question leading on to that. How do you want this team, not just you, but this team, to be remembered after this postseason run, but after this season as well?
Yeah, I just want us to be remembered as something that was inspiring. You know, it's inspiring that maybe we didn't have a full team that like played their junior year. Like obviously last year we had Colin and Cameron starting, and I played somewhat, and Ben also played somewhat, and then obviously Noah wasn't in the roster. But this is like a brand new outlook, and nobody knew what we were in the beginning of the season, and we did pick up some losses early on. But now as we kind of go along, I think we're on a 10, 11
11-game winning streak.
11-game winning streak, and we kind of pick up with that, and the entire community. I mean, you kind of saw yesterday that the entire place was full.
Yeah.
And that was of people in Riverside, Brookfield, like wherever. They were coming in, and I think that is to what will be remembered a little bit, and we'll have our pictures up on the wall in our team room, and I'm sure our coach is going to be super happy about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I can attest to that. It took me a while to get out of the parking lot yesterday. There were a lot of people there. The floor was shaking. Colin, do you have an answer to that question as we're getting ready to wrap things up here?
I mean, I just think I want to be remembered as a close-knit group of guys.
Yeah.
Like, you could talk about the teams that did well, but they weren't really close friends or, like, playing together as much. I think we're all good groups of guys, and everyone really has a good personality on this team, and I just think we're winning games by playing together.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Liam, for joining us. That was a ton of fun, getting a little insight back there as well. We plan on doing some more of that as we go. Colin, your answers there were also insightful as well. That'll do it for the second edition of Bark Back Sports here at RBTV. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.